Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the sex offender hit list.
A Mexican man living in Auburn was arrested Thursday for sex crimes involving a child. According to the police, they received a complaint in December that Santiago Hernandez Huerta had engaged in repeated acts of sexual conduct against a girl who was under the age of 11. An investigation was performed and possible evidence was sent to the New York State Police Forensic Investigation Center for processing. Probable cause was obtained to arrest the 41-year-old, and Hernandez Huerta was located by the Gun-Involved Violence Elimination Team, taken into custody and charged with felony course of sexual conduct against a child. He's now being held by police pending arraignment. See ya, Chomo. Virginia. A man was arrested for alleged multiple sex crimes against children in Bedford County on Thursday, May 30th. According to the Bedford County Sheriff's Office, Tyler Andrew Carter, a 21-year-old of Bedford County, is facing multiple charges. These include possession, reproduction, distribution, solicitation, and facilitation of child sexual abuse material. Carter is now being held in jail with no bond, according to deputies, and this is an ongoing investigation, so anyone with information about this case is asked to call the Southern Virginia Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, so we can keep this chomo off the streets.
Yeah, my mother told me there'd be days like this.
A Palm Coast man was arrested Thursday as well on charges of possession of child sexual assault material, according to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. 33-year-old James McGill was charged with 10 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material. McGill was arrested without incident and transported to the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility, which the sheriff calls the Green Roof Inn, where he was being held on a $150,000 bond. The investigation began after the sheriff's office received a tip from none other than the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. On January 11th, detectives searched McGill's home, where they seized multiple electronic devices. Investigators found 10 electronic files of videos and photos portraying children in sexually exploitative situations. The victims were estimated to range in age from 5 to 11 years old. I want to commend Detective Sierra Held, our lead investigator in our cybercrimes ICAC unit, in building a case to put this pervert behind bars at the Green Roof Inn, said Sheriff Ricky Stolley. This type of perverted behavior will not be allowed in Flagler County, and we will come after you. Kudos to you, Sheriff. A Cookeville, Tennessee man was arrested Thursday for possession of child sexual abuse material, according to the police. A search warrant led to 29-year-old Solomon Sebastian Juan Gaspar's arrest at his mid-state home. Cookeville Police Department reports that in January, they received a cyber tip about Juan Gaspar being in possession of child sexual abuse material. During an investigation, detectives were also able to obtain a search warrant for a residence in Cookeville, and Juan Gaspar was arrested and charged with sexual exploitation of a minor, a Class D felony, as well as tampering with governmental records. Don't know the reason behind that one, but okay. That's a Class E felony. Well, he was booked into the Putnam County Jail with a bail set at $300,000.
Now get in there!
This caveman-looking chomo from Mount Pleasant is accused of multiple sex and domestic violence crimes, including raping a child under the age of 13. Isabella County Magistrate Aaron Miller arraigned Manny Marcel Smith, a 36-year-old, in Isabella County Trial Court Friday on charges of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, a felony that carries a minimum penalty of 25 years. Second-degree criminal sexual conduct, which is a 15-year felony. Smith was arrested and lodged in the Isabella County Jail Tuesday after the Mount Pleasant police launched an investigation, but details of that arrest aren't really clear. The affidavit in support of the criminal complaint was made non-public because the victim's a minor, according to the court documents. Smith allegedly engaged in sexual penetration with a child younger than 13, grabbed the child by the hair, dragged him across the floor, and slapped him, according to the criminal complaint. He's also accused of assaulting his ex-wife. Let's just hope you rot in prison, Chomo. A Yates County grand jury has indicted an Alabama man on 19 charges, including sex trafficking of a child. The investigation into Austin Pace started in April. The 25-year-old is alleged to have utilized social media and online chat apps to communicate with a minor child and enter into an online sexual relationship. Investigators also accuse Pace of using force or intimidation to command her to engage in sexual activity and the creation of child sexual abuse material for his sexual gratification daily. Pace is alleged to have utilized more than a dozen social apps to exploit the minor, included but not limited to Snapchat and Discord among friends and Instagram. During the investigation, multiple electronic devices were seized, along with the contents of the social media accounts that contained videos and images. Now, on May 15th, Coleman County Sheriff's Office investigators assisted the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation and Homeland Security investigators in executing a search warrant of Pace's residence after receiving cyber tips linking him to that child sexual abuse material stemming from the Yates County investigation. Alabama law enforcement agencies confiscated several electronic devices, and the search warrant for Pace was then executed, and he was arrested on a Superior Court warrant out of Yates County and extradited by the Yates County Sheriff's Office on Wednesday. Pace was arraigned on Thursday on a 19-count indictment. Among the charges are sex trafficking of a child, 5 counts of promotion of prostitution of a person under 15, compelling prostitution of a person less than 18, coercion, use of a child under 17 in a sexual performance promoting sex. There's a lot of charges here. Of course, an obscenity in the first degree. The Honorable Mackenzie Stutzman set bail at $50,000 cash, $100,000 bond, and $200,000 partially secured bond. Pace is due back in court on June 11th. And if convicted, Pace faces a maximum penalty of 25 years in prison and up to 20 years of supervised release. He's also facing the possibility of consecutive sentencing for the charges. That would be awesome.
I'd like to know what dirty stool pigeon squealed on me.
A former school paraprofessional in the Caseville district accused of sexual contact with a minor is now facing 3 felony charges and was arraigned Friday. Mackenzie Caitlin Kohler, a 33-year-old of Caseville, was charged with first-degree child molestation, possession of child sexual abuse material, and incest involving deviant sexual contact. On March 18th, allegations surfaced that Kohler, who most recently worked in the middle school, was having an inappropriate relationship with a male student at the high school there. The Berry County Sheriff's Office investigated. As part of that, a search warrant was obtained by the Southwest Missouri Cybercrimes Task Force for Kohler's Macon Sick account on the Snapchat social media platform. Court documents used to charge Kohler said that sexual abuse material was discovered on that account. It allegedly included 8 images uploaded at 4 different times that depict the nude genitals of a female under the age of 14. The images were reportedly uploaded between July and August of last year. Caseville Superintendent Marilyn Johnson said that Kohler was hired in September of 21 and worked until April of last year. She was rehired in September of last year but resigned in March, shortly after these allegations surfaced. He said if she had not resigned, she would have been placed on unpaid administrative leave. Kohler was arrested Wednesday and arraigned Friday in front of Judge Matt Shelby, and a bond hearing has been set for June 18th. If convicted of the most serious crime, first-degree child molestation, Kohler faces up to 30 years in prison. See ya, Chomat. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but this is a police officer, or shall we say a former police officer. He's being charged with child sexual assault in Spooner, and is no longer on the force, of course. Dakota Cody Dorn was charged in Washburn County Thursday with 2 counts of second-degree child sexual assault under the age of 16, child enticement, exposing himself to a child, and 3 counts of resisting or obstructing an officer. In a press release Friday, the Spooner police chief said the investigation began in October and that Dorn was immediately placed on paid, administrative leave while it was ongoing. Before the investigation ended, officials said Dorn resigned from the police department back on December 11th. Then, according to the 32-page criminal complaint, there are 2 victims. The first victim told police they had a relationship after she participated in a ride-along with Dorn. We hear this all the time more often. The second victim told police they met when Dorn volunteered at her school, and she was in the 7th grade. The Burnett County District Attorney's Office is serving as a special prosecutor in this case. Let's just hope you fry. See ya, Chomo.
I'm gonna give you solitary confinement for 99 years.
A man that was arrested earlier this year as part of a large-scale collaborative operation to target online child exploitation and sextortion in Tennessee, that was called Operation Protecting Tomorrow, well, he now faces an additional charge after child sexual abuse material was found on devices that he owns. This is 25-year-old Cody J. Wilson. And he was one of a dozen people arrested as part of that joint investigation with special agents from the TBI, ICAC Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, and the United States Secret Service. Wilson was charged on February 16th with solicitation of a minor and soliciting sexual exploitation of a minor. Exploitation of a minor by electronic means as well. After Wilson's initial arrest, a search of his electronic devices revealed he had been distributing and exchanging child sexual abuse material on various online platforms. Some of the material consisted of children as young as infants being sexually assaulted. Agents with the TBI task force today arrested Wilson, who was originally from the Columbiaville, Michigan area, and charged him with aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor. He was booked into the Maury County Jail with the assistance of U.S. Secret Service, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Maury County Sheriff's Office. He's now being held there on a $75,000 bond. Not much for all those charges, you think? Meanwhile, in Ohio, a 43-year-old man was arrested by the Columbus police on Thursday for allegedly possessing child sexual abuse material. Records from the Franklin County Municipal Court state that Google submitted a report to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children on March 26th about child sexual abuse material being sent through their service. Google reported that the user, who was identified as this beady-eyed chomo Timothy Kramer, possessed nearly 400 files. Investigators tracked the IP address down to an address in the 2000 block of Indianola Avenue near Summit Street, and then SWAT members from the Columbus Division of Police conducted a search warrant and arrest warrants at the location. The warrants were for the Franklin County Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, ICAC, and Columbus Police Exploited Children's Unit. Kramer possessed several videos and images depicting children being sexually assaulted, according to court records. He's also accused of producing the child sexual abuse material. Investigators say he had regular contact with one of the children that he was trusted to care for. Kramer is being charged with pandering sexually oriented matters involving a minor and is currently booked in the Franklin County Jail. He could face additional charges as evidence is being reviewed. Police said Kramer was previously incarcerated in Florida from 2006 up to 2022 for aggravated child abuse and torture. Kramer's bond was set at $1.25 million, and he's scheduled to appear in court on June 8th. See ya, you beady-eyed chomo.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
One for a rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6. And I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at end-violence.org/protect.
I'm going to put you in the first team. Are we together or not together? Answer me.
We're together.
Stop it! You calm down.